Well, hello there. Welcome to another great episode of Yeah, I Said It. Of course, I am Shelly-Ann, author, activist, and passionate Jamaican. Now we're just going to jump right into it. It's the slap heard around the world. What happened on Sunday night at the Oscars, well, other than people winning statues and being honored for their great acting performances in awesome movies, was that slap. You know the slap. I'm not even going to tell you the specifics because you know what I'm talking about. I just want to take this few little minutes because I decided I'm not going to indulge and go down the wormhole of trying to psychologize what happened to Will and what happened to Chris and what happened to Jada and whose feelings gets hurt and all of that. But I will say this. That was a man thing. That's all man, all ego. Let me tell you what would have never happened. And I can say never about this. But Shelly, you must never say never. I can say never about this. Now, if the person on stage was a woman and Jada was sitting by herself and Mr. Person wasn't there to, defend her honor, you know what would have happened? Jada would have make up her face, the person on the stage would have said them say, and it would have been that. Nobody now get up and slap nobody. You know why? Because the consequences for a woman doing what those men did would have been much harsher. Can you imagine the scandal if a woman got up out of her seat and walked the steps to go and approach another woman, lean back and go splash eye pan her face because the other woman says something about her man? Really? First of all, just, you're having difficulty imagining it too, yeah? Because it not happen. It will not happen. That's a man thing. That entire experience is a man thing. You know what else is a man thing? They're gonna be fine. Will is gonna sit and do an interview, maybe with Oprah at some point, and he's gonna explain how he was so wrong, and he's gonna graciously apologize. And Chris at some point is gonna have a similar conversation because Oprah's got to get the interviews, and then at some point Will and Chris is going to be seen somewhere chilling, and they're gonna get over it because that's what they do. Men can mess up. They can do horrific things. They can do things that would have been considered career killing for a woman, and nothing happens to them. They get to go on and be who they are and stay rich and have a great life. So, I'm just gonna say that, and that's all I gotta say about it. Moving right along. Yeah, remember last week I told you about the stabbings in school? More stabbing going on since then, What's happening? What's going on? Listen, Ministry of Education, I know you're probably not looking at this as something that is your problem to deal with, but y'all gotta intervene at some point. These incidents are not only very, very regular, but it appears that the students are walking with weapons and getting into school with weapons on their person. I see them talking about now they're going to be installing metal detectors. I think you should be going in the other direction. I think you should be trying to figure out what kind of mental health intervention that can be placed in these schools to help these students sort through their feelings so they don't resort to violence. How about that? How about investing in the money in making their mental health better rather than setting up a scenario where they are now going to be criminalized? I don't make these decisions. That's just my suggestion. But I think you should think about it. Yeah, I said it. Well, today's main topic is, well, cheating. Man, I give burn, and I get back burn. I know nothing that call it burn, fi burn. Big, big, big song by Captain Barkley. For those who are not reggae fans, Google it. So, yeah, I said it. So, bun, in the Jamaican vernacular, means cheating or being unfaithful or, committing infidelity in your relationship. Now, there are lots of opinions about why people cheat and all sort of things, but I want to talk about what the science says. Yes, people study this and the studies are interesting. Not very far from what you already think, but when science do it, it sounds more official, right? So, according to the science, there are specific reasons why people cheat. Let's look at some of them. Researchers at the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy in December 2020, official something, they talked to couples and they researched cheating, and these are the results that they came up with. Oh. Reasons that people cheat. Ready? Anger, low self-esteem, lack of love, low commitment, need for variety, neglect, sexual desire, and circumstances. Now, of course, all of these things I'm sure you can relate to on some sort of level, but I just found it interesting how I don't see money on this list. Let me look again. Anger, self-esteem, lack of love, low commitment, need for variety, neglect, desire, and circumstances. Well, maybe the money is somewhere in the circumstances, but it is my personal belief, and this is the opinion. I'm not referring to the science, but it is my personal belief that money is a big part of why people cheat. Money make people do things that they wouldn't normally do. I mean, there's so many songs that refer to money get involved in things. That song that Chris Brown sing, these ain't loyal. Listen what it says. If a rich man wants you and your man can't do nothing for you, they talk about it like it's a loyalty thing, but personally, that's a money thing. That's a, oh, you ain't got no money, so I need to eat some food, so we go get some money. But I believe that money is a very big part of why people cheat. But let's look at some of these reasons that they have right here. Anger. Now, sometimes anger gets so prevalent in a relationship that the relationship can turn violent, but that's a relationship to leave. You don't have to cheat in that relationship. If you're getting beat up or if there's a lot of violence in your relationship, it's time for y'all to say, you know, well, it was good while it lasted, but this not working out. You don't have to cheat out that relationship. Next one, self-esteem. I can see how this might be a problem. Self-esteem is a real issue, especially now. There's so many things to gnaw at and break down and really cause people to feel insecure about themselves, and that is really something that we have to work on, and that's an individual job. That's an inside job. Nobody can help your self-esteem. You hear what it's called? Self-esteem. It starts with self for a reason. That means that's a you thing. You gotta work on your esteem of yourself. So that is definitely something that people really need to look into. One of the things that you can definitely do to help your self-esteem is to read. And I'm not saying that like read as in, you know, go read a self-help book. I mean read. People underestimate how important knowledge is. Knowledge can be very empowering. Knowledge can make you feel better about yourself. If you're talking to somebody and you can speak with a certain level of confidence, it's because you know what you're saying. So read. That will help your self-esteem. That's my tip for the day. Read. Build your self-esteem. Oh, another thing, sexual desire. Now, this is one of them that I really got to talk about, because sexual desire is possibly one of the biggest reasons why people cheat. Because let's face it, if your partner isn't stimulating you the way you want to be stimulated and you can find somebody to do it for you, what is the likelihood that you might want to go get a little bit of that out of there? Especially when them have where you want. Now, I can speak from my own personal experience that, hey, I used to know this guy. We never actually dated. Years ago, me did young and careless. We never actually dated, but let me tell you something, man. That boy can kiss. And then him have a little thing where him do with him just hold you. And you know, when nice things are going, him just hold you in place. And you just stay so. And everything just nice. Woo! Oh, I almost had a flashback there. Anyhow, like I was saying, sexual desire will make you cheat. For sure. So you probably should work on getting your sexy with the person that you actually with, because if the level of sexy is good over there, then the likelihood of you cheating reduces. But that is also something that you have to work on. Sexy up yourself. Yeah, I said it. sexy up your relationship. There's so many things that you can do. It depends on what you're into. If you want to go buy stuff, toys are in now. People interested in toys. People doing all kind of different things in the bedroom. People dressing up. People playing role playing. They're using all sorts of implements and bondages and all kind of things. Find the flavor that you like and sprinkle it on your relationship and go to town. Get your sexy on, because if you're not being deliberate about your sexy, you might feel the need to get out of your relationship and go find it elsewhere. And trust me, is it worth it? If you have to go to a relationship, find the sexy, you might as well just, go to it permanently. So, yeah, man. Or put back the sexy in your relationship and deal with it. Now, I want to talk a little bit about neglect. Now, neglect is a lonely place, and it's even lonelier when you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship and you feel neglected, that's worse than being by yourself and feeling neglected, because you actually see where you want to be. You're sharing space and time and life with somebody, and you feel neglected. That is something that's going to take a lot of communication, a lot of deliberate work, and a lot of caring and want to be there-ness. Want to be there-ness is a term I just invented in my brain a while ago, but you know what I mean. If both of you no longer want to be there, it's time for you to go elsewhere. But neglect can be hurtful and depressing. Neglect can lead to depression. Neglect can lead to people harming themselves. Neglect is lonely and horrible, and it should be avoided at all costs. And if you find that you're being neglected or you're neglecting your partner, get moving. Make adjustment. You have to change up some things. That's just what it is. You have to change up some things. Neglect cannot be a permanent part of your relationship. It must be a difficult time that you go through and then it ends, but it should not be a permanent thing in your relationship. So if you recognize it, deal with it. If you need to employ a professional, do that. But you do not want to be in a neglectful relationship. Yeah, I said it. Now, the reason why people cheat, sometimes it's just a function of opportunity as well. Don't discount the opportunity, because sometimes somebody take one for your team. I remember distinctly that I've seen friends there talking about, them, a group of them go out and they meet a group of other people, and one person not really interested, but they have to take one for the team because everybody's meeting up with everybody link up with a new person, and then just take one for the team, and they're being a team player. And it's just opportunity. That's all. They're not really interested in the person. They don't necessarily want to do nothing, but they're just out with them friends and everybody else is doing. So they just take the opportunity and get involved in all sorts of things. Now, for that, I always say, listen, be yourself. And if you don't want to do it, say that. You don't have to do nothing you don't want to do. Don't let peer pressure lead you astray. Peer pressure is not just something that happens to teenagers. It's happened to grown folks too. And it can get them in trouble too. So if you don't want to do something, no thank you. And move right along. So don't let that opportunity put you somewhere that you don't want to be in. There are some people that believe that cheating is a natural part of relationship. So much so that they kind of have in mind a one cheat and say, all right, if that one cheat that happened, as long as them promise not to do it again, then we move on. I think that's dangerous, because if it is that you're planning for that cheat, then you're gonna just accept it to happen. Now, I am not going to tell you what to do with your life. I never do that. But I know what I will accept, and I know what I want, and I know what works for me. And let me tell you, that ain't it. If you're going to cheat, you better get your friends involved, hire some actors, pay some extra people, make sure you get your story straight, study your lines, make sure everybody have them down pat, because once I find out, there will be consequences. Yeah, I said it. So, are you cheating? Have you been cheated on? How did you deal with it? Talk to the man. Tell me how it goes. Comment section below. Right? Yeah? Cheat? No cheat? Make us know. Some people have been in a relationship and say that cheating actually made their relationship stronger. Well, no, let me rephrase. Recovering from a cheat actually made their relationship stronger. It made them come together, and it made them stronger as a couple. And if that's the case for you, brilliant. But some persons, cheating can be devastating. It can really wreak havoc on their self-esteem. It can make them feel like they're worthless, and it can really damage a really good relationship. So before you cheat, think about the consequences and whether or not you're ready to face them, because the truth of the matter is, why spoil a nice good relationship for an opportunity? That don't make sense. It don't make sense. Yeah, I said it. That's it for our show tonight, and I want to say a big thank you to everyone who tuned in for another Yeah, I Said It. I'm your host, author, activist, and passionate Jamaican, Shelly-Ann Weeks. You gibbon. It matters not. We love you same way. Someone just misbehave. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and definitely tune in next week for another Yeah, I Said It right here. Later, guys.